Hey guys, this is P.M.R.Bonez88, and today for my next horror slasher movie review, Phantasm. So this film came out in late March of 1979, and it was directed by Don Coscarelli. But he did not just direct this film, he produced, written, cinematography, and edited this film. And it also starred Michael Baldwin, Reggie Bannister, Bill Thornberry, and let's not forget Angus Scrimm, who plays the terrifying tall man. Sadly, he passed away a couple days ago this year. He died at the age of 89, so we will miss him very much. Rest in peace, Angus Scrimm. I went downstairs and I saw what all the VHS tapes were. I found was Phantasm, and I took it out and popped it in and I watched it. Clearly I knew it was a B movie, so I was 18 at the time, so it was about 9 years ago. With all the horror films that I've seen, were all the Nightmare series, Friday 13th, all the Halloweens, Child's Play, Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, this film just blew my mind. I love this movie so much, and I just had no idea what Don Coscarelli was going the direction for, because when I heard about him that he used to direct this underrated movie comedy was called Kenny and Company. I never saw the movie, but I've heard about it, and they used the same stars from Phantasm, such as Reggie Bannister and Michael Baldwin and other characters that were in that movie. So he got from comedy to serious, dark, scary movie kind of director. And with all the visual effects and the settings that were taking place, and some of them were real, such as the bar scene. They used that bar scene only when the manager was there. So the movie starts out where two couples start making out in the cemetery, and out of nowhere, this girl just starts killing this guy, just stabbing him multiple times. And up to the close-up scene, we see this girl transforming into this creepy old man. And during the next day, the two heroines, Jody and Michael, Jody goes into the funeral home just to see his parents and saying hello and his goodbye. And then while Michael was dirt biking in the cemetery, they start hearing all these creepy sounds, and we receive a few clips which were these mindless dwarfs. For some reason, they remind me so much of these Jawas from the Star Wars series. I kept thinking to myself, was Don Coscarelli ripping this off? Did they just took the Jawas and put them into a Phantasm? I don't know why he brought them in, so I don't know, maybe it was a spin-off for Star Wars. So it's up to Mike, Jody, and Reggie to stop the tall man's reign of terror before he turns everyone into mindless dwarfs. There are some good, interesting scenes, such as where Mike interrogates the funeral home, and then he tries to get away from these spheres, or aka the silver balls. That didn't sound right. Why didn't it sound right? So one of the tall man's minions grabs Mike, and then Mike is just bits the guy's arm really hard, and then all of a sudden this silver sphere just comes in right into his face. So then it just drilled his middle head, and then all the blood just gushing out came out right into his head. And you can definitely tell that's like an unrated cut version. And I'm really glad they just used that scene and they didn't take it out. So at least the MPA were very good back then. And then afterward he just falls down, and all of a sudden he just pee when he was dead. Is it a possibility that when you die you either pee or you shit yourself? In fact, I don't even want to know. So anyways, the tall man just appears, and Mike just starts running away and closed the door right at him, and then the tall man's hand was stuck right into the door, and then Mike just chops his fingers, and all the yellow blood shit that just came out. It was like, what the fuck? What is that? I don't know if that was his real blood. I don't know what that was, but it looked very disgusting. It's like, ugh. Luckily, I had a strong stomach and I didn't puke. In fact, I just laughed at that scene. I'm sorry. Oh, you gotta admit, that was the most funniest scene ever. Where he just dropped his finger. And all the yellow shake just burst out. I need a moment. Okay. I have a review, so I'll laugh about this some other time. I could do this. I'm okay. I'm okay now. So anyways, Jody locks Mike into his room, and then he goes after the tall man by himself. So Mike was there all by himself, but he pulls a MacGyver. He just takes a bullet and then tapes it around with a hammer and smashes it into the door. So there he goes after him, and then the tall man just reappears and just takes him into his car and just drives off. Lucky he did brought his gun, and he shot one of the tires and then he shot the window just to escape. The actor Angus Scrimm, he was about 6'4", so he was really tall and perfect to play the role. But for his character, his height was about 6'7", so they gave him height shoes, something like that, just to make him even more taller. It was really fantastic, and I did like the character of how Angus Scrimm portrayed him, how he could be more serious, and he doesn't really talk too much, just only a few lines, that's it, especially when he calls him boy. That was great. And while the three just goes to in his secret room, Mike discovers another world, another dimension that where the tall man was really born at. Now people say that he's either a ghost or a monster, but I'm hearing now that he's an alien from another planet. I mean, it is a possibility. I mean, the tall man is not really human, so he's got to be either of those three. So a monster, yes, he is. So Mike discovers this other dimension and explains why he takes all these dead bodies. And the reason why they were dwarfs is because due to the gravity and the heat. So that's the only way they could crush them. So what happens, the power goes out and the gang are separate. So Reggie uses those twin noisers that makes all these weird humming sound. He just silenced them, and then this real weird strange force just pushes him out, and then all the buckets just start sucking up, and this weird humming sound just keeps getting louder and louder and louder, and right by the time the house just disappears. They used these Star Wars sound effects. You can definitely tell because I recognize that humming sound right there when the house just disappeared. They kind of used that lightsaber effect. So there are some Star Wars moments and sound effects too. Mike runs away from the tall man, and then he just follows him into the trap, and the tall man just falls right into the hole and then buries him. But then somehow he wakes up, and everything, all it was just a bad dream. So this whole entire movie was just a dream that Mike was having. So he's been living with Reggie all this time, and he explained that Jody died in a car wreck. So Mike goes upstairs into his room, starts packing, and decides to go on a road trip. But then guess who was there? The tall man, and takes Mike away. They did follow up to every sequel to the Phantasm films, so I'm glad they kept on following up, and up to the big finale, which is Phantasm Ravager. They've been saying it that when's gonna come soon. I just wanted to see this film so bad, to see this big finale. The sequels were okay, and they weren't as better than the first film, so the first film's always a classic. And if none of you did not see this movie, or if you're really interested to see Phantasm, I suggest you should go for it. So just to rate this film for Phantasm, I would have to give it a 95%, so I give it an A. For a classic film like this and a tribute to Angus Scrimm, so may him rest in peace, and it's definitely a great movie to see it, and with all the supernatural stuff happening and the visual effects were amazing, and Don Coscarelli did a great job on it. I own this movie on DVD only, but once it comes on Blu-ray or if they do a box set of all the Phantasm films, I'll be getting them all, and hopefully Ravager comes in this year. And this is P.M.R.Bonez88 signing off. His saying is, peace!